The Rebel Capitalist Show.
Kim, if you had to start over today and I gave you 100 grand, what would you do?
I love real estate. I love real estate. I would find real estate deals. I would go to places. I would look at the trends. What are the trends that are happening? Where is it happening? One of the trends right now is home businesses. I mean, not home businesses, but home goods like Home Depot and Lowe's, and people are doing their own fixer-uppers, do it yourself. And there's markets out there. I would go find markets. I would find a market that's depressed, that has opportunity. They're there. They're there. You just got to look.
What areas?
And I would probably start a business. I would figure out to a business that out of this whole looking at what's coming down the future, I would look at what is needed and wanted that people are not doing.
Would you try to focus that business online because the cost of getting started is so much lower?
I think so. And we don't know how people are going to come out of this thing. Are they going to be scared to death for the next 10 years? Are they going to be open and face to face? And online now, I think that's one of the advantages that came out of this whole thing is the whole Zoom. Okay. I don't have to get on a plane and fly to Florida to be interviewed by George Gammon. I can do it on Zoom. Right. And I can do like 5 of these a day instead of 1 a week. So I think the online world is going to be is going to have a huge opportunity for entrepreneurs.
One thing I always say about an online business is you can make so many more mistakes and you can just throw like 10 things up against a wall and just see what sticks, because it costs you, let's say $500 or $1,000 to start that business, that blog, that YouTube channel, that website where you're creating content, delivering value, doing affiliate marketing or selling your own product, something like that. Where before, I mean, the last business I started, well, when I started in 2000, what was it, a 5-ish, right around there, it was a brick and mortar type of business that had a service, and I had to put up my life savings. I had to borrow another $400,000 just to set this thing up and have a little bit of runway there, and you're not even profitable. And then you hope you got enough capital and reserve to last you the 6 months before you turn a little bit of a profit, and you're not paying yourself and all these things. And ironically, that business became profitable and did well, but it didn't do any better than some of these hugely successful YouTube channels or things that were started with $500 and like a cell phone. And a lot of people, I think, get that paralysis analysis because they don't know what to, should I do brownies? Should I do classic cars? Should I talk about this? Okay, just do all of them. And see which one people like, and then go from there. And they have the opportunity to do that now because the cost barrier of entry is very low. The time barrier is still the same, but the cost barrier is a lot lower.
Yeah, absolutely. We did a small course once. It was online, and it was about how to set up a business and how to start your business. And people could not figure out, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? We're like, just pick something. Just pick a product. And you're going to sell it online. Just it doesn't matter what it is, because this is just learning. You're just learning. But to your point about getting a car and selling the car and fixing it up and all of that, it was the same process. It's like, just pick a product. You're going to learn about inventory. You're going to learn about selling. You're going to learn about all of these management, finance. You're going to learn all of this, but just pick something and start, because just consider it. This is like your education, your entrepreneurship education. I think that is really good. And I'll say, when we started the Rich Dad Company, we had a little bit of money that we put to manufacture 1,000 games. We did not have a big market. We had no marketing plan. We built these games, and the only plan we had is we knew, because we had a seminar company before that, we taught entrepreneurship. We knew that we could create a 500-person seminar in Singapore, which we did. And everybody would buy one game. That was part of the cost of the seminar. And they played the game there. That was one of the first places we played it. So we kind of had a built-in way to get our money back, but we didn't have any long drawn out formal plan. We're like, we just need to do it step by step, take it little by little. Online was huge for us. But yes, to your point, there's so much opportunity out there, but you just got to start. And just, the first business doesn't have to be anything, monumental.
One thing I've noticed, at least from all the entrepreneurs that I've known in my life, they seem to have this natural inclination to shoot first and ask questions later.
Exactly.
Have you noticed that as well?
That's the people I know. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Now what? I don't know.
And
Let's figure it
you
out.
kind of
You
figure it
just
out
gotta
as you
figure-
go. You
Yeah,
figure it out as you
that's the
go.
fun of it. That's the fun of it. And to that point too, you talked about trying all these different things because you're so good at this. Every action a person takes, any action has feedback.
Right.
You smile at somebody smiles back. That's feedback. You punch somebody punches you back. That's feedback. You put a product online with a sales blurb and nobody responds. That's feedback. And you go, okay, they didn't respond. Let's change it. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I think that's part of the fun of entrepreneurship. It's like a puzzle and you keep figuring it out. And there's a lot of experts out there. And I would say, find the real experts, not the fake experts. The real experts are people that do what you want to do, not just talk about it.
Or
so
teach.
George is a real expert because he does what he talks about. But there's a lot of people out there that talk about it, but they've never done it. So find real experts that you can learn from and learn the mistakes that they've made. I mean, I have my bookshelves are filled with business books, entrepreneurship. I love marketing. That's my forte. I love marketing. But it's just a game.
Yeah. I see a lot of people and I think one of the things that gets them stuck in the mud is they try to plan out like the next 5 years. Okay, I'm going to start this business and then I'm going to do this. I'm going to set up my LLC and I'm going to get this lawyer and I'm going to have all these accountants and then I'm going to do it here. And then I'm going to start a website and do this and this and this and this. And I'm going to talk about this. And they try to just do all this planning instead of taking action. And one of the things that I think was a huge benefit to learn early on in my entrepreneurial career is that you can do all the planning in the world. And it's like that Mike Tyson saying, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
I love that. Yes.
And I learned very early as an entrepreneur that you're going to get punched in the face about a week after you start. Mm-hmm. So there's no point in doing all this planning because I guarantee you in 2 weeks, you're going to change the plan. So why not just start and go with the flow and then just change it? Have you had those same types of experiences?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. So my least favorite question anybody ever asked me, even before I was an entrepreneur, is what's your 5-year plan?
Oh,
I don't know what I'm going to do.
With you.
I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I don't 5-year plan, and nothing goes the way it's supposed to.
Exactly.
We used to teach about the moon landing, how often that rocket ship was on track was like 3% of the time. 97% of the time it was off track. Yeah, wow. It's correct.
Huh.
And that's the world of entrepreneurship is you correct. And look at today. I mean, I don't know when my next international trip will be because I don't know what the rules are going to be, where I go and what I want to do. But yeah, it's that I think that's the fun of it is because you also have to, when I talked about people are too comfortable, you also have to get comfortable with making mistakes and get comfortable with not knowing what's going to come next. And one of the things I think stops a lot of people, George, is they listen to their friends or they listen to family members who have this tape of, oh no, get a good job. That's security, that's safety with the 401k. No, don't go out on your own. Don't do your own thing. No, that's too risky. You're going to lose everything. I think people listen to that way too much. And at some point, you're just going to have to say, I don't know how you deal with that, but you just have to say, I'm going to go do this. This is what I want to do. This is for me, freedom and security is having my own business.
Yeah, it creates that uncertainty.
Yeah.
And it just gets people just stuck to where they can't do anything other than what they've done the last 10 or 20 years. Every, let's call it 3-year point. If I would have gone back 3 years and told myself that I'd be doing what I was doing at the time, I wouldn't have believed it. Yeah. Like if you would have told me 3 years ago that, oh, George, you're going to have this YouTube channel and you're going to be interviewing Kim Kiyosaki and you're going to have, Rebel Capital's Live and you're going to have this podcast and you're going to be, I would have said, you're absolutely out of your mind. There's no way that's going to happen. And that, let's say that was 2018. And if you would have gone back to 2015, that's when I first went to Medellin, and would have said, oh, George, you're going to invest in all this real estate. You're going to do this, you're going to have a whole team here of 30 people. You're going to do your own TV show in Medellin, although you don't speak Spanish. Again, I'd say that you're absolutely out of your mind. So I came to that conclusion in the early 2000s. And that's when I just said, you know what, screw the plan. I'm not going to have a plan because it's pointless, because I'm going to be doing something that I can't even imagine 3 years from now. Have you had that same type of experience?
Yes, because here's what I found is if I got focused on a plan, I've never been a good planner. That's just not my nature. But when I do have a plan and I'm really like focused and stuck to the plan, I miss so many opportunities.
Right. There you go.
And somebody will say, oh, well, why don't we're going to this talk tonight on such and such. Oh, I can't, I got this deadline. I got to get this done because this has to be in by da, 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 da. And I miss. So today I am so much more, what's the word? Maybe more present in my daily operations.
Yeah.
I pay attention to when there's a phone call or when somebody comes knocking at the door. And I find it grows much faster when it grows organically versus me trying to force something to happen. And my friend JW said to me once, he said, don't be so attached to the outcome. Because I was going into a big meeting. He said, don't be so attached to the outcome. See what comes out of it. Kind of put your outcome, you have things you want to say, but kind of put that on the side and see what evolves out of this meeting. And sure enough, the ideas that came out of this meeting were so much better than any outcome I ever envisioned.
Right.
So I'm not a good, and if if I do have a plan, it's pretty general. It's more macro plan than detailed. Because I don't know what people are going to show up. I don't know who's going to, when I restructured our company, the people who were with us, I'm like, I don't know if this is the right group. I don't know how they're going to do it. By me getting out of the way and letting their genius come out, so much more effective, so much more productive, so much smarter than I ever could be. So I think things have to organically evolve at some point as well.